if you're listening and you're like, I'm vanilla, that's cool too.
It is. It is cool.
Hi, I'm Nicoletta Heidegger, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and sexologist.
Hi, I'm Lana I am a content creator and streamer on Chatterbait.
We're excited to welcome Lilly Bell. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, my name is Lilly Bell. Like I said, where do I start? I am a sex worker of all kinds. I do everything. I've been doing this now, mainstream for about 5 years, and then I guess sex work total maybe 7. Wow. Yeah.
Welcome. Excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
And today we're going to be talking about kinks, BDSM, fetishes, as much as we can cover with that fun topic. So first, let's define some things for our viewers. How would y'all define a kink?
I guess it's just a preference that's something a little different than vanilla, something that's a little out there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually looked up the difference between a fetish and a kink, and I guess a fetish is something that you need to have to get off, and a kink is something that you just enjoy. Like, I don't need ice cream, but I love having it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how a lot of people define it. So kink, I would say, is this like broad umbrella term that describes anything that's not sort of like the normative practice. But I mean, a lot of people are into a lot of things. So chances are you've done something kinky, whether you've been spanked before or been blindfolded, you've practiced kink. And so that's just a big term that has like a lot of fun stuff underneath. I have a colleague who likes to say that like kink and BDSM are basically just a fun way for adults to play with each other. So just an exploration of play and sensations to do weird things, weird in a good way, things together. So if you're willing to share, any favorite kinks?
Yeah, I'm a kinky girl.
fetishes.
Yeah, I don't really have a fetish. So now that we have separated what those terms mean, I definitely don't think that I have a fetish. I would say that I do have kinks, and I like to explore them. I grew up in the Tumblr era of things, so, always seeing those types of, submissive and dominant, and, I read this Tumblr erotica, and it was based on a teacher, that had a bunch of students, and he would, have them as his sex slaves and all this stuff. I shouldn't say the words, I should use a different word, sex, minions. Yeah, minions, and, and so I got to do a kink scene based off of that Tumblr erotica, and that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of other kink things that I've done in my life, like, it started when I was really, 19, 20, and I remember my boyfriend at the time bought me a Hitachi, and then he tied me to a chair, and then he tied the Hitachi to my leg, because we saw that on Tumblr. I remember sitting, on the bed and slapping each other, just seeing, how far we could go, and then as we kept slapping each other more and more, then we kind of got, animalistic, and then we started really f***ing. Yeah, it was fun experimenting in different kinky ways growing up. Random tangent. But,
No, I love this tangent.
Yeah, going through my memories of all that. So
This is a great tangent.
yeah.
And I think, for a lot of folks, a lot of people maybe notice that they're kinky early on in life, and then later in life they start looking back and being like, oh, that's why I liked that.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I remember for me it was watching the movie The Labyrinth. I don't know if you saw that with David
yeah.
Bowie.
We've all seen that. I was actually about to reference that when
You
we were
were?
setting up. I was like, when they steal the essence out of their eye. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I love that movie. And his bulge, yeah. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
David Bowie.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so great.
Yeah, I gotta go cool down, excuse me.
Yeah, for real. Okay, what about you? Any kinks that are really exciting for you?
Oh, yeah. I love to be choked. I love to have my mouth spit in. I think that's disgusting and delightful. Just pop open my jaw and spit in my mouth. Gross, and I love it. I don't enjoy hair pulling, but I do love spanking, and I love having sex in public places. Not where people can see, because, consent of other people is important. But I enjoy having sex in outdoor places, and I've always enjoyed that. That thing you were talking about with, oh, that's that's why I'm kinky, right?
Yeah.
I can remember having fantasies about that for as long as I can remember.
Really? The
Like even
public
playing with my
places?
dolls and being like, oh, we're kissing outside.
No, I would have them playing college, and then they would go off and
Yes,
hook
exactly.
up.
And I was like, oh my God, this is my thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, luckily for me, like most guys are willing to try out that kink with me. So I get it fulfilled quite often.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we're talking about so many different things, but I think when a lot of people think of kink, they think of sort of traditional BDSM, which if you don't know, it's 4 letters but stands for 6 words: bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and sadism and masochism. Some people use kink and BDSM interchangeably, but again, BDSM is this kind of umbrella term. But kink and BDSM is not just like dark dungeons and painful stuff. It can include the animalistic slapping, it can include the spitting in the mouth, but it can also include soft feather tickles and touches while being blindfolded, or really sensual things. So it's really just like playing with different sensations. So if you're listening, know that like there's a whole world out there for you. What do you think, like, for both of you, what helped you maybe create those things that then felt like empowering for you and to like recreate them as kinks? What helped you kind of get there?
You want to go first?
Oh, yeah. For me, I had an ex who was very, like, physically harmful to me, and he used to, like, walk up behind me and, like, put his arm around my neck and, like, and choke me in a very mean way, and a very physically abusive way. And for me, I was dating this guy that I really, really trusted after that, because it traumatized me, and it was really scary, and I couldn't have people, like, walk behind me. Like, it really, like, solidified some trauma for me. But I was dating this guy who I really, really trusted, and he was a lot bigger than me. And we were just playing and having fun, and we were having sex. And I was like, I want you to try choking me to see if I can, in this very safe place, regain control of something that terrifies me with somebody that I feel completely safe with. And we were able to do that. He was willing to go down that journey with me and like stop at the pace that I needed him to, and help me heal. And now it's one of my, because I have control of it, it's one of my like largest like kinks, where I'm just like, yeah, this like feels so good because it's something that I choose, not something that was taken from me.
And I love how you're talking about it, and I would love to share with folks like who are interested in exploring some kinky things, like how to negotiate in a way that is empowering and safer.
I empathize everything. I had the same trauma, not same situation, but I had a situation, do not have to talk about these details, but it's something that, you know, with choking, and it ruined me. And I used to love getting choked, and then anyone, if they even remotely, I just...
So scary.
In the corner, you know, like, it was bad. And so I started dating someone, and he was a lot bigger than me. And I used that as that moment, because we were, you know, loving each other. I said, I'm in a safe space. Can you try putting a hand on my neck and trying? It took a couple times, you know, I started crying, you know, we had those moments, but then eventually I worked towards that, and he makes me emotional because it was so special, because it was something I really loved, and then I was able to
took it back.
And now I can get choked out on set, and I don't feel that pain, and it is so amazing that I was able to reverse that. So to hear another woman talk about that, it's really special.
I completely agree, and it gives you this like bond with that other person that was willing to like hold your hand through that. Like, I don't need you to heal me, I need you to like stand by me while I heal myself, and it's beautiful to have that.
Yeah.
Any tips for folks out there to like negotiate a kink with somebody? So like something that you're like, I'm really interested in doing this. How do you bring it up with a partner? Like, how did you feel comfortable to bring it up with this person to be like, hey, could you try choking me?
I think communication is key. You know, you have to communicate. You have to talk to your partner. Yeah, I think that is literally my only statement. You have to communicate. You just have to talk about everything. I think about so many times where like I didn't communicate things, and then they didn't go the way that I was supposed to go, or the way that they were supposed to go, but if I would have said something, they could have. And so, I don't know. I think you just have to talk.
Anything that's helped you like communicate more effectively?
So I have a situation, and it's just being blunt. Really just being blunt. Like, I was hooking up with this guy. We're getting towards the end of, you know, I came, and so it's time for him to come. But I look at him and I go, so how would you like to come? And he immediately kind of went, and afterwards he said, I've never had anyone ask me that question before. And I said, I understand that, it's kind of stumps you because you're like, well, I don't know. But it's important to be able to talk about those things and figure that out. And I don't know. Yeah.
So that's so funny that he was like stumped by that. That's like my favorite question. Do you want to come on my face? Do you want to come inside me? Do you want to come on?
He's a civilian guy, so civilian, they're not.
I date a vanilla, well, I'm engaged
Yeah.
to a vanilla man, and introducing like kinks to him is extremely fun because he's never heard of half of them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, do you want to have sex outside? He's like, oh, we can do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you. I love that.
And if you're listening and you're like, I'm vanilla, that's cool too.
It is. It is cool. Like
I feel like vanilla's
yeah.
gotten a bad rap
No.
lately that, like you said, people are feeling shame that they're like, I'm not willing to try these other things. And for people who don't know, vanilla, it just means that maybe you're practicing sex that is a little bit more like traditional by whatever cultural standards you're in. But you can have really quality sex of any kind. Vanilla is totally great. But for me, it's like, I at least want people to know that the 31 flavors exist.
Yeah.
Because like, I love vanilla as a flavor.
Well, for me, like, because I do so many crazy things on camera all the time, I kind of want vanilla in my life.
That's kinky for you.
Yes, yeah. Like, well, and also, like, talk to me about my dreams and look at me in my eyes. Like, it's almost like what I'm looking for as time goes on, not the other stuff.
Missionary with eye contact
Yes.
is like my favorite kind of sex. I'm like,
the
let's have
best.
some deep, slow eye contact. Like, this is my favorite kind of sex.
Eye contact.
Yes.
That's major. Like, I've noticed some people get very uncomfortable with, like, long hugs. Also long kisses. Like, there's a few, like, times where I'll try to kiss someone, and then when you kiss them, you keep it and you breathe in and breathe out and breathe in. People don't like that. They'll get really uncomfortable. And then when you find someone that will do it with you, it's really nice because you can
Like
tell
breathing
they'll
into each other's mouth.
Yeah. Well, even closed mouth, like you're just like kissing and holding each other, and I don't know.
Feeling the breath.
There's a male talent named Robbie Echo, and that's like his thing. And so when I told him we were at Kinky Rabbit, and I said, you know how many times I try to kiss people like this and they don't kiss like you? Because they're afraid of connection.
Oh man, we covered so many things. So we talked about like what a kink is versus a fetish. We talked about how we develop these things. Sometimes there's no reason. Sometimes it comes from, trauma. Sometimes it comes from nowhere. Sometimes it can be healing and reparative. Sometimes it can be just playful and fun. This is all amazing. Any last tips for our viewers about kink and kink exploration?
Yeah, I think talking about consent is really important. Like, unless you get a verbal yes with eye contact, that is a yes. If someone not saying anything or saying no, someone not saying anything or giving weird body language, that isn't a yes. So you have to get a verbal yes. I think that is very, very important.
Yes.
That's just something I want to say.
Yeah.
The enthusiastic consent,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes.
yes, we are gonna do this. Yes, I think that is, communication is obviously extremely important. Don't be afraid to like talk about your kinks, even if you're not ready to try them. Like, talk about them. Be like, hey, I really want to explore this thing. Would you be interested in doing that? And I think that can be like a really fun shared sexual experience if you do communicate that in a fun and safe way with your partner.
Love it. And my 2 tips: find a yes, no, maybe list online to explore what are some of the activities that are interesting for me, what are things that are off limits, as well as what feelings do I want to feel, what words do I want to be used. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.